Democrats are in full freakout mode with Biden. That's our headline from Politico. We're going to read that article, but I also have some clips about Gavin Newsom, about how much he's hated by Democrats. So even though I believe that Gavin Newsom is most likely to be the candidate to replace Biden, the only question now is, when do they replace Biden? I don't think it's an if at this point. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. We're going to go through this news, do some pontificating about who's going to actually run for president. Because remember, once the Democrats take Biden out, if he's not going to run, they remove the age and dementia side of it, because anyone who they run against Trump will not have dementia, allegedly, and will not be age. He might be up against a very young, spry candidate. But will they be likable? Here's Politico. Dems in full-blown freak out over Biden. One advisor to major Democratic donors keeps a running list of reasons Biden could lose. I just want to show you guys the narrative now is that even the people on the outskirts, even on the edge, are starting to recognize that Biden, his chances look worse and worse. It's starting to look like a real long shot for Biden now. That means Trump win. A pervasive sense of fear has settled at the highest levels of the Democrat Party over President Joe Biden's re-election prospects, even among office holders and strategists who had previously expressed confidence about the coming battle with Donald Trump. Now they're like, oh no, no, it's not going to work. All year, the Democrats had been on a joyless and exhausting grind through the 2024 election. But now, nearly 5 months from the election, anxiety is morphed into palpable trepidation, according to more than a dozen party leaders and operatives. And the gap between what Democrats will say on TV or in print and what they'll text their friends has only grown as worries have surged about Biden's prospects. Guys, this is about the Democrats lying to everybody, putting a good face on, doing their best with their candidate, and just going, he has the most energy, says Joe Scarborough. And now they're starting to go, I can't say this anymore. It's such a big lie. I look stupid. Like, it's one thing, like De Niro coming out today at New York, man, he looked stupid, but we'll keep going. Hold on. You don't want to be that guy who's on the record saying we're doomed, or the campaign's bad, or Biden's making mistakes. Nobody wants to be that guy, unquote. So the only reason why they're not telling you the truth is they don't want the blame as being, it's true. If you drag your candidate down, your party down, you want to be happy, peppy. It's supposed to be a party, like psychologically a peppy party, said a Democrat operative in close touch with the White House and granted anonymity to speak freely. But Biden's stubbornly poor polling and the stakes of the election, quote, are creating the freak out, unquote, he said. So this is their own narrative that Trump's going to permanently go into power if he wins this election. And if he loses, what? Biden's not going to permanently be in power. Quote, this isn't, oh my gosh, Mitt Romney might become president, unquote. It's, oh my gosh, the democracy might end, unquote. Now, this is just more Democrat stuff they're rolling out. They just started it this week. They have a new formal ad campaign that if Trump gets into office, he will never leave. We're bringing in the end of democracy. So that's the best thing they had to go with. It's not going to work. It is, of course, a lie. Despite everything, Trump is running ahead of Biden in most battleground states. He raised far more money in April, and the landscape may only become worse for Democrats with Trump's hush money trial concluding, and another, this one involving the president's son, set to begin in Delaware. That's Hunter Biden is coming out in Delaware, his lawsuit. The concern is metastasized in recent days as Trump jaunted to some of the country's most liberal territories, including New Jersey and New York, to woo Hispanic and Black voters as he boasted improbably that he would win in those areas. Don't bet against Trump. While he's long lagged Biden on cash in hand, Trump's fundraising outpaced the president's by $25 million last month and included a record-setting $50 million haul from an event in Palm Beach, Florida. One advisor or major Democrat Party donors provided a running list that has been shared with funders of nearly 24 reasons why Biden could lose, ranging from immigration and high inflation to the president's age, the unpopularity of Vice President Kamala Harris, and the presence of third-party candidates like RFK Jr. Guys, these are Democrats making this statement, not Republicans. So relax. I mean, not relax. We're going to fight like heck because the democracy is at stake. If Democrats win, our republic is over. Quote, donors ask me on an hourly basis about what I think, the advisor said, calling it, quote, so much easier to show them. So while they read it, I can pour a drink, unquote. The advisor said, quote, the list of why we could win is so small, I don't even need to keep the list on my phone, unquote, said the advisor. He shows them this list of reasons why Joe Biden could win. And then he can, because the list is so short, he can memorize it on why Biden could win. This is not good. This is a massive hemorrhaging. They're absolutely admitting it's all but over. Now, the only question left is, what will Democrats do about it? Do you think they'll sit back and let Biden just lose to Trump? Listen to me. Tell me in the comments below, do you think the Democrats are going to stick with Biden all the way to the end, even if he wins? Because I think, right, once they know he loses, and they know he loses now, Democrats are not going to go with Biden. No, they have to they're going to put someone else in. It's better a Hail Mary long shot than admit defeat. On the day after the news broke that Biden had trailed Trump in fundraising last month, Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey raised the pressure on donors as she introduced the president to a crowd of 300. Oof, and this was a sleepy crowd. The cluster of fundraising events Biden attended in Boston that day were expected to bring in more than $6 million for his political operation. But Healey said that wasn't good enough. Quote, to those of you who opened your wallets, thank you, said Healey, a Democrat in her first term. We'd like you to open them up a little bit more and to find more patriots in the Democrat Party. Oh, I'm sorry. You're looking in the wrong place. More patriots who believe in this country. Democrats who believe in this country, who recognize and understand the challenge presented at this time. You know, the problem is the challenge presented at this time is the Democrat Party. Laughter rippled through the room, but Healey's voice turned serious. With usual urgency for Healey, the governor implored the room of high-dollar donors and local Democrat leaders to, quote, think long and hard, unquote, about the stakes of the election. They're using scare tactics. Well, I don't want to give you a scare tactic, but you know, the number one guy who's probably in line to replace Biden is probably someone like a Gavin Newsom. Now, obviously, they need someone, a minority or something like that, but he's poised. He's ready to go. He'll be able to get money. Problem is, he's one of the most disliked Democrats there is. Here's Governor Chris Sununu just demolishes Gavin Newsom. Watch this.
I can honestly tell you there's really only been two, maybe a third, but two real governors that really nobody liked. Nobody cared for at all. I don't mind.
Would you say who they are?
Do you really want me to? Yeah, Andrew Cuomo. Complete jackass. No one likes him. And I gotta be honest. No one cares for Gavin. Gavin's just a prick.
Gavin's just a prick. No one cares for Gavin. That's a very interesting statement. That if this guy's going to be the guy they run, notice, by the way, it's LA and New York that have the least favorite guys, right? Cuomo and Gavin. No one likes him, even in the Democrat Party.
Excuse me. He just is. It's really disappointing. I got along with him. All of us got along for a while. But even the Democrats, they won't tell you out loud. But behind closed doors, you're like, oh, God, look who's coming. You know, they all roll their eyes.
That's what they say. When Gavin comes in the room, they go, look who's coming. That's his assessment of how Democrats see Gavin. So Gavin, he isn't going to exactly warm up the room. He goes on national television. He could really backfire if they end up presenting him as their big lucky candidate. There have been a few moments in Biden's term as president that haven't been second-guessed, and his aides have made sport of sneering at grim predictions compiling dossiers of headlines and clips in which the president was underestimated. Biden campaign aides and allies point to some positive polls, including in the battleground states, and Trump's comparative lack of campaigning and infrastructure in the key states, including staff, organizing programs, and advertising. Republicans have always had a lot of catching up to do with Democrats on that stuff. A Biden campaign advisor, granted anonymity to speak freely, stressed that the president's team never made any indication that Trump's hush money trial would help or hurt him. Instead, the advisor contended that Trump will be forced to defend cutting back abortion rights, which, by the way, he has not done. As a pro-lifer, I'll tell you that. Attacking democracy, so that's all false. He has never attacked democracy. And advancing corporate interests as president. Now, this is the most ridiculous one of all. Everyone knows that all corporations now have gone woke. That's the whole thing. It used to be a libertarian or a capitalist thing. Now all these corporations, they're all doing, they have DEI, they have Department of Equity and Inclusion. They've all gone woke. They all fly the rainbow flag. Corporations are the most woke organization. They're not, the idea they're going to slam that on Trump and go big money's after Trump. Big Pharma loves Democrats. Are you kidding? Trump's photo ops and PR stunts may get under the skin of very serious DC people as compelling campaigning, but they will do nothing to win over the voters that will decide this election, unquote. Biden campaign spokesperson Kevin Munoz told Politico, quote, "The work we do every day on the ground and on the airwaves in our battles and on our battleground states to talk about how President Biden is fighting for the middle class and the corporate greed that's keeping prices high." Are you buying that? Dude, that is the big Democrat plan. This is over. Biden's out. Does Gavin get in? If not Gavin, who else? Because I don't know. Is it Michelle Obama and Oprah? I haven't heard one thing about either one showing any interest. Gavin Newsom obviously has interest to be the next Antichrist. I'm Doug in Exile.